Alright, here we go. Yet another one. Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got an unboxing. We picked up our Masami car today. Once they announced that they were going to release this, first of all, I was kind of shocked. But at the same time, not surprised, because they are coming out with these cars, seems like every few weeks. This is not necessarily a re-re, because it never was a car. It was just a concept car that was built for a few of the team drivers. Now, I'm not going to be surprised if the 91 car comes out. That would be awesome too. But they need to slow down a little bit, because our budget is getting beat up. But either way, let's crack this thing open and check it out, and then, yeah, see what it's all about. All right, first thing you notice is that glare. This box is awesome with the metallized logo and the autograph from Masami. It's got all the features of his car, a little backstory of him and all of his few trophies he's collected over the years. Like I said, this was not a ever production car. It was a prototype that the team drivers were trying to keep under wraps, and it finally made it into production for us 50-somethings, 40-somethings to enjoy. So let's crack it up and see what we got. All right, it's not new anymore. We cut all the seals. All right, first things first, all these sweet Yokomo wheels. That was, whether or not it is a performance thing, I guess back then it was the first 2.2-inch wheel. But I was running dirt oval back in the late 80s, and Yokomo wheels were on the Dominators, and I never did have a Dominator, but we were getting the wheel adapters and putting these on our RC10 to make it look like we had a Dominator. Very cool. Those are the correct color. That looks exactly like they were. Again, I don't know the specifics on the tires. Like I said, I was more in the dirt oval, but you can't help but recognize Masami and all the accomplishments back in the day. Of course, it was all in the magazines. I do have the magazine with his 1989 YZ10 winning car in it. I was going to dig it out for this, but I got quite a few magazines over there. So we'll do that in a future episode. Standard front wheels, your pin spike tires. These would be definitely for the loose dirt or the surface that this car was designed for at the time. Back then we did run a lot of loose dirt. We ran loose dirt on oval too back in the early 80s. All right, first things first is your hard anodized shocks. And this car runs the long shocks in the front. I do believe that was designed for the surface of that track, very bumpy surface. Same at 91, they ran in Detroit, I believe, and the track was pretty bumpy, and they run the long arms and the long shocks to help with that particular racing surface. And evidently it worked, because they won. Next thing is the arms. I think, maybe, these arms look a little different. I don't think any of these arms are the same as the original. Unique rear bulkhead, and you got your body mounts, shock tower. Shock tower looks pretty standard. The rear hub carriers look pretty standard, and it has UJs in the kit, so very cool. Your front arms, front shock tower. This is a very unique situation here. These were not. They look very similar to the TNT, but they're different. They're pretty beefy. They got a lot of ribbing and material in there, so no flex in the arms and the long shocks, so it ought to be definitely for some bumpy surfaces. There's your unique shock tower, front brace, and hub carriers. I'm not sure if they're unique to this car. The steering blocks look very similar, but they are inline steering blocks. They're not the trailing arm, so you got your axle going straight through the kingpin. And here you have your battery cup, which has a unique battery hold down, and your upper deck, which is carbon fiber. Yeah, everything looks pretty standard here, other than, like I said, these are modified kind of battery cups. Maybe that's for the back corners of the chassis, for the body. But yeah, pretty cool. They did a very accurate recreation of this car. Your standard steering setup, your white ball cups, turnbuckles. Actually has like the RC10 titanium turnbuckles. Not sure if we're going to use these or not. I don't know how much this car is going to get ran, but I'm definitely going to build it. We're going to run our 40th this year again at the. If we get to go to Von Nat's, we'll run it there, and we'll run it at World RC Parts too. Stealth transmission, motor mount, rear motor guard, all pretty standard stuff, I do believe. I don't know if there's anything unique about this transmission. I don't think there is. Sorry about the lack of facts, people. And the body, you're going to have to do quite a bit of creative cutting on the body. The body cutout lines are very generic. This chassis is unique, and like I said, it wasn't a production chassis, so it didn't really make a production body. You had to modify the existing bodies to make them work, and we will whittle it down and make it fit. Your wing, it looks very similar to the standard buggy wing, but it's a little bit bigger. It's definitely wider and got a lot taller or more prominent side area. And there's our first little damage. We've got a dent in our wing. Not a problem, because I think these wings actually have side dams that go on them too, so that'll be covered up. I'm not sweating it because I'm not building an accurate recreation. Tools and your chassis. Of course, they do sell the graphite chassis as an aftermarket afterthought. Not sure why they didn't include it in the car versus making an aluminum chassis. I don't know which one would be more expensive, because this one takes machine work and material. So for whatever reason, you get an aluminum chassis. We're going to build it on the aluminum chassis because, like I said, I'm probably not going to run this car a whole lot. I hadn't ran the other one very much. And there, it is not numbered. It just says Masami Edition, 1989 IFMAR Masami. Because I do believe his car was carbon fiber, or the like the straight line style graphite. Not sure. I know the fan car has the graphite chassis. Got our instructions, our Masami graphics kit. Let's cut that open. Probably should have used a razor blade, but that was easy enough. Got our Yokomo sheet. Some body detail stuff. A little Masami here for the hood. Very cool. You got your card with the metallic autograph on it as well on both sides. Back side is just black, but got the silver logo. Very cool. Two-sided tape, associated catalog, and if you're curious, there's all your graphics. So basically you just got to paint the body green. I do believe that Tamiya has a green that looks correct. I'm not sure of the number on it. We may do a box art body for once. I don't normally do that. I may have to just get a second body to do our Guru edition. But you cannot deny Masami and his paint scheme. That will look pretty awesome on the shelf and or on the track. Because, like I said, we are going to build it and run it, but it won't be one of those cars that gets ran a lot. Because it is pretty unique for the type of track surface. It'd probably be a handful to set this thing up to run on hard packed clay, I would imagine. The two tracks that we're going to be going to run slicks, and I'm not sure if you need all this travel for a track of that style or surface. Yeah, there's your side dams for the wings, so the little dent on that rear wing. No biggie. It'll be covered up. We can smooth it out and put our end caps on. Not sure where those are. They're right here in the bag. So you do get the end caps in the bag for your wing to recreate the car. Body pin, your antenna tube, and window mask. And actually, that is pretty awesome. You can't see it on film. It's got the flames. All the graphics are here if you wanted to paint the body. And here you go. That'll give us a reason to do a box art. It's got all the graphics already pre-cut. There's the flames. There's the hood flame. There's your window mask. There's side pieces. So yeah, check it out. We can do this thing in paint and not have to cut all this stuff out by hand, because those flames are tricky because they have the black outline around them, and that would add to the difficulty, obviously, to make it look perfect. And these things already have it. So very cool, very cool. It's even got the RC10 for the roof. I know you can't see any of this stuff I'm telling you, but trust me, it's there. So awesome. That gave me a reason to paint the body for sure now. So let's pack this up and wrap this up. All right, guys, I know we've been pretty much speed running the last probably 8 weeks with the Grasshopper Poor Boys Speed Run Challenge. We are officially done with that, and we're moving on to getting back to normal. We've got some big plans for the fall in the garage because the boat's gone now. So I got the little boat project wrapped up. Brother-in-law is happy. I'm happy because this boat's not here. And we got a little more room to play. I was supposed to be painting this body today. This will be Wednesday's video, so tune back in Wednesday. We're going to do an update combo. We're going to do an update and a paint job because we're running short on time. Next weekend, we will be going out of town, and I might bombard y'all with a bunch of videos next week, possibly, maybe. I don't know yet. Depends on how it goes, but for sure, we will remain on schedule as far as I can tell. So definitely tune in for that and subscribe if you haven't. Anyways, guys, we're going to hop off here and get started on this body so we can have you something for Wednesday. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to try to stay true to the schedule. More beach stuff. We're going to run this body on the beach next week. I wanted to have something different because you haven't seen the other Grom. And yeah, I'm not sure what else. We're going to take several cars with us when we leave, when we go out of town. And last year we did hit up, check out some of last year's videos. We did hit up some of the local tracks. We hit one of them anyways. We got to the Hobby Town. I'm not 100% sure if that track's still open. From what I understand, it may have possibly moved. There is a oval track down there near where we stay that I just discovered how close it was. Unfortunately, the owner has passed. I don't know, like recently, and I think they're going to carry on with the track. So if they are, if we can get away, we may possibly ride out there and at least look at it. And yeah, whenever I go out of town, I try to find hobby shops and things. So if we see anything interesting, I will be sure to film some of it. But anyways, guys, tune in Wednesday. I've done enough talking. We'll have this body painted, and we got a lot of news to talk about on the updates. We did some spring cleaning over here. You can't see it on film. We got a few things to wipe off and a few things to add to the whiteboard. So, yeah, tune in Wednesday, and thanks again, and we'll see you then. Thanks.